Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. If you're an XRP holder listening to this in July of 2025, even if you're brand new to investing in XRP, congratulations, you are early to the party. You are an early XRP investor. You are so early to this party that frankly it's rude and the hosts are offended that you have shown up so early. You should probably turn around. This is embarrassing for you. You're so early. And I'm not kidding. Now, it may not feel like that in particular if you're brand new and there's always somebody that was a bit sooner than you. I get that. But I want to talk big picture about a few things here because in the scheme of things, you ain't seen nothing yet. In fact, I'm going to share with you, just to add perspective, a couple of price snapshots from years past. And it just illustrates the point. Like, there is so much room to move to the upside. This asset class at almost $3.9 trillion, that's a pittance compared to what it will be in the future. So even if you're brand new to XRP and brand new to crypto, congratulations, you're early. And almost no humans on the planet have even heard of XRP. And almost no humans on the planet own any cryptocurrency, and certainly not XRP. You are light years ahead of just about every other human that exists right now. That's not a small thing. That's a big thing. So kudos to you for trying to do the same thing we're all trying to do, right? You know, better our financial futures. And it's been shown over a span of more than 15 years now that investing in crypto, including XRP, is arguably the best way to do this. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Now, the price of XRP is $3.52 as I record this. So are we at a time where we should be concerned about topping? I don't think so, folks, even though we're not going to go perfectly up in a straight line. We are at the tail end of the market cycle, I certainly presume. But look at this post from chart analyst Steph is Crypto. He said, this whale bought XRP at 51 cents and turned $730,000 into $2.8 million, but is still not taking profits. Now that's some conviction right there. He got it at 51 cents before this thing started ramping up, and it's now $3.46. And he put a lot of money in. He put way more than most people. $730,000. And I'll just tell you this, though. The people that are rich, these whales here, they don't become rich by making consistently stupid decisions. They get rich and maintain their wealth because they consistently, on the whole, make good financial decisions. And so this is a vote of confidence that this thing's going way higher. No doubt this guy's going to take profit at some point. That would make rational sense. And I wouldn't even blame him if he did it now because that's such a big jump up. But clearly believes that this is going to go way, way, way higher. And also I want to highlight, there's this post from XRP community member Freckie, who has been in crypto literally since 2011. He's definitely an OG, so he's seen it all. He also happens to have an actual career in finance and has for decades now. So I listen to him when he speaks. He kind of knows what he's talking about. And so he shared this post yesterday afternoon, and he said XRP is preparing for a much bigger leg up. Let me say this. People are lucky spot ETFs aren't live yet. You wouldn't see $3.50 per coin. TikTok, $5 plus. And so he's thinking that the demand that's going to flow into XRP once the spot XRP ETFs get approved, which is almost certainly going to happen this year, that's going to dramatically impact the price of XRP. Now, I'm convinced over a span of years and decades, it's going to be so profound. I'm not even going to waste my time trying to guess what it means for price, but so substantial. And it's certainly not going to hurt even in the short term for a bull market. Like, so if it gets approved at a time, before or during the final stages of the bull market, then yeah, you could. It depends on the timing of this. But either way, even if say it gets approved after the peak for XRP, that's still fine. There's just going to be that much more opportunity for investors in the future, frankly. That's what's going to happen here. And so take a look at this, and I think this really adds some perspective. So here's a post from chart analyst Leb Crypto from the other day. And he said, I was here when the total crypto market cap was a mere $80 billion. It's now $3.84 trillion. Not too bad for a 48x. Think about that, jeez. 48-fold increase for the entire crypto asset class over that time period. He says the best investment strategy for the crypto large caps has always been HODL, and it will continue to be the same for the foreseeable future, in my opinion, despite the massive interim downswings. Yeah, I will speak to that, absolutely. I've been hodling since November of 2017. And my crypto is worth a fortune compared to what it was in the past because I did nothing. I bought and then I did nothing. That's it. And I'm going to keep preaching that message because it matters. It's arguably the message that matters most when it comes to strategy for investing. So you guys do whatever you want. I'm not telling you what to buy or sell or if you should buy or sell because I don't know what's best for you on a personal level. But I am telling you that the concept makes a lot of sense and it's what I've implemented in my life and it just works. In my crypto, if I knew in 2017 that I'd one day have crypto that's worth what it is today, I would lose my ever-loving mind to know that that worked. And then if I found out that we hadn't even hit the euphoric part of the cycle for this cycle, then I'd extra lose my mind. I'd lose my mind twice. And that's what's ahead, which is why I'm just ridiculously excited every single day here. But let's add some perspective. Okay, so here's a website called Token Insight. And it shows you, you can see on the screen here, a total market cap at various points in time going back over a decade, right? And so if you look back at the last time that it was even close to $100 million, the entire crypto asset class, it was, I think, where was it? Maybe it's down here. Or late 2018. I think it's late 2018. Or, no, I'm sorry. Maybe it's 2019. Somewhere around here. Let me see if I can find... Yeah, oh, I think I found it. It's hard to peg down this. I think I saw 97. Did I just... Yeah, there we go. There it is, if I can get it back on screen. $97 billion market cap, December 14th, 2018. I accidentally right-clicked, so it went away. December 14th, 2018. That's, by the way, that's coincidentally, just picked that date up. That's the date that I launched my YouTube channel, actually, December 14th. It's a 2018, right? Oh, sorry, that was 2019. Where's the date? I just lost it. No, I had it. Sorry, one sec here. I want to get this. Yeah, okay, I was right. Okay. So if I can get that again, just there. Yep, that's the day I launched my YouTube channel. $97 billion market cap for the entire asset class. Now, mind you, we had peaked. So the peak of the cycle is into 2017, into early 2018, so about a year prior. And the asset class peaked at a value of about $850 billion. So we went from a peak, which was bubble territory, $850 billion, and crashed down to less than $100 billion as an asset class. And that's the point when I got real excited, and I was like, I was so excited I launched at the depths of the bear market. I did. I launched my YouTube channel at the depths of the bear market, and I was like, here's the real opportunity. I just kind of went on my way and just accumulated for years and years and years. And that's where the opportunity was, right? And it was actually the very next day, coincidentally, December 15th, that Bitcoin bottomed at around, I think it was around $3,200 or so, December 15th, 2018. That was the bottom of the market. And I didn't know that at the time, but I knew that markets would bottom and then you'd start to see the move to the upside. But so even though it's cool to see that type of increase, because even from $100 billion to $3.8 trillion, that's a 38-fold increase, even just from there. And so I've lived through that. And I just wanted to give you a positive message here, because even if you're brand new to crypto, let me tell you something right now, folks. The market cap for the asset class, so it's now $3.9 trillion. That is nothing compared to what it will be in the future. In the future, that's going to be over $100 trillion. And I've been saying that since the earliest days when I launched my channel. So in the earliest days, we hadn't even had $1 trillion market cap. And I said, folks, one day there's going to be $1 trillion market cap. And I said, after that, there will one day be a multi-trillion-dollar market cap. And we're living that now. And then it's going to get in the tens of trillions. We still have to see that. Maybe we'll see that this cycle. I don't know. And then eventually, given enough time, even if it takes a decade, I don't know how long it'll take. I'm not predicting that. But $100 trillion plus. It is coming. And so that's why I share with you now. If you are early, and this is why I said what I said at the outset of the video, if you are brand new to XRP, and you're even if you're brand new in crypto in general, you are early, folks. XRP's existed a little over a decade at this point. It's been tradable for 12 years. It was created in 2012, but it's been tradable since 2013. Early 2013, I think it was. And I'm just telling you, you are early. Almost nobody has ever even heard of XRP. So if we're talking about going from 3.8 trillion to over 100 trillion, over a 30-fold increase roughly, just for the entire crypto asset class. And knowing XRP today is still undervalued, I believe that anyway. My God, it's going to get crazy. I mean, best estimates are that only about 0.08% of humans have ever held XRP at any point in history. About 0.08%. And if you hold XRP in July 2025, you're part of that group. It's an exceedingly small group. And so it's millions of people, but there are over 8 billion people on the freaking planet. So you win, folks. Congratulations. That's why I said what I said at the outset. Congratulations, you're early. You're doing something. You're taking action. So kudos to you. I sincerely mean that. It's the same thing I did. Nothing special about me. I'm just a regular dude. We're pretty much all just regular people just trying to financially better our situations here. And it's real. That's the message I want to deliver. Just be smart about it. Hodling works. I haven't ever cashed out to United States dollars, though I fully intend to this cycle because it's worth so much now. And I think it's only going to be worth even more. So yeah, I intend to. But my whole plan was to never sell unless it was substantially life-changing. And I think I'm about there. You know, I've been holding crypto. It's been almost 8 years. This fall it'll be 8 years for me. So yeah, it does work. And so if you want to do the same thing, I'm just telling you, even if you're new, you can do it. And by the way, like, you may feel like you're late. I felt like I was late a little bit. I logically knew that wasn't true because crypto was a brand new asset class. So even 2017 had been around 7 years, roughly 7. A little over that, but it felt that way. I felt like I was late, but I logically knew that I wasn't. And I was talking to people that had been around leading up to that point. Where XRP, when I started, first time I bought XRP, I think it was 21 cents, and I was talking to people that bought it for half a penny. Tons of people around then were like, yeah, I bought half a penny, 1 penny, whatever it was. And I was just, oh my God, I wish I could have had. I wish I could have had. And that was before it, and that's before it had run to its all-time high over $3 in early 2018. And so I'm like, oh my God, I wish I could have been in that early. But I was like, it's okay. It's still going to be worth a fortune. It's this. The same thing is true now. Let another decade pass. If you're still holding XRP that you buy now from a decade from now, I'm willing to bet that people are going to be like, oh my God, you really got to buy at $3.50 in 2025? It's the same reaction that I had talking to people who years prior had bought XRP at half a penny. So congrats. Yes, you are early. You just got to recognize it. Have the right mindset here because there's so much freaking opportunity here. It's just crazy. It's just crazy how much opportunity there is, frankly. And look at these historical snapshots. This is from December 16th, 2018 on CoinMarketCap. So this is 2 days after I launched my YouTube channel, 1 day after the market bottomed. And Bitcoin was $3,252. Look at this. This is actually what the website looked like on December 16th, 2018. And I looked at it on that day, and yes, this is what it looked like. And here you had XRP, number 2 in market cap, by the way. So I'm telling you, there's historic precedent. XRP absolutely could go back to that number 2 spot, and then you're looking at probably closer to double-digit price action for XRP this cycle. But look, XRP was 28 cents. It was down to 28 cents, and that wasn't even the worst of it for the cycle. That's the bottom of the cycle for Bitcoin. But then, if you look at what happened, pandemic times, March of 2020, look at this snapshot. This was March 15th, 2020. XRP was 15 cents. And by the way, 15 cents is the cheapest I ever bought it. So it was on or around this date that I bought XRP at 15 cents. It got as low as 10 cents on some exchanges, including Coinbase. So that was about the bottom. And it was down to number 3 in market cap at this point. And sure as hell is worth a lot now. So what's the lesson here? Hodling works is the lesson. The same is true investing in the stock market. So the same things that work investing in the stock market work in crypto. Holding for long periods of time, not investing in stupid things. Like penny stocks, for example, that's equivalent to micro caps and small caps, broadly speaking. There may be 1 in 100 or 1 in 1,000 that actually make it and have long-term viability, or maybe it's lower percentage than that even. Those are high risk. The real way to make it is to invest in stuff that is not stupid, S-T-O-O-P-I-D, stupid, meaning invest in the stuff that's been vetted and the market agrees makes sense, the large cap stuff, some mid cap stuff, and then you just hold for a long time. And you go through market cycles because the whole asset class ebbs and flows together. It just does. The asset class moves in tandem here. And so isn't it wild looking at these prices, though? And so my message to you is if you fast forward a decade from now, go back and take a historical snapshot of today in July 2025, and it's going to look dirt cheap. Because by then, I wouldn't be surprised if, this isn't a prediction, but I wouldn't be surprised if we're close to or above $100 trillion for the entire asset class. And so the amount of wealth, life-changing wealth that you can still have investing in crypto, I can't overstate the degree to which this is true and substantial. So just don't have a defeatist attitude. It really can work. It's up to you. You have to decide to do it, but it really does work. You just have to be more patient than everyone else. And so, yeah, I would have preferred if I didn't have to wait. It's been almost 8 years from now. I would have preferred if I didn't have to. But it's also true that I had to put up with the SEC suing Ripple, attacking all XRP holders on a global scale. So there was that. Couldn't have foreseen that. But still, it didn't change what I was doing. I just continued to hold. I didn't sell any XRP. Still haven't sold any XRP, although I intend to in the future. Not too distant future, ideally. And there we are. And that's it. You have to have the cojones to do this. You have to just have that fortitude to just like, no, I'm holding. Whatever happened, no, I'm holding. That's the answer, period. Even if you're down or break even for a number of years, as I was the first few years that I was in crypto. Because we were in a bear market. So the price flutters about in a certain narrow range for a few years. Yeah, you're going to be down for a few years then. But I knew that, and I kept accumulating, and I believed we would have a breakout, and we did several years ago. And then I believed there would be another one after that. We're going through it now. And we're going to have another one in several years. Of course we are. Until something fundamentally shifts. And if that happens, we'll talk about it. And so there was this thread started by chart analyst XRP from the other day. He said, owning XRP today is like owning Apple, Google, Tesla, Amazon, Bitcoin 15 to 20 years ago. If you have missed all these opportunities, then you shouldn't miss XRP for the next 10 to 15 years. XRP is a sure win investment. It's that simple. Okay, well, I have that level of conviction that XRP, look, it already has one, and it's just as long as nothing goes south, yeah, I mean, why wouldn't it? It just keeps getting more and more adopted, so it just seems obvious at this point, so I'm on board with them. That's why I say, like, as he said, I'm agreeing with him, if you fast forward 10 to 15 years, unless something way out of left field happens that none of us could conceive of possibly happening, yeah, XRP is going to be worth a fortune compared to where it is now, which again goes back to why I said at the outset, you are early if you're in crypto in July of 2025. This is going to be this is going to be the best asset class to invest in from here for the next decade. And by the way, I said that when I launched my YouTube channel. I believed it then. I believed it the next year and the year after that, all the way up until now. I'm saying the same thing because I still believe it's true. And so somebody responded and said, XRP crashing down, pathetic. And I'm just sitting here thinking, my God. Are you aware of the price of XRP? In November, it was 49 cents. What do you mean crashing down? And it was the other day. It was already above its all-time high from this year, over $3.40, and it's crashing down. Okay. Is it crashing down? Is it crashing down? I don't think so, buddy. And then somebody else responded to him and said, Bitcoin suppression tactics. Go look at XRP chart last day or so. Every time it got up a few cents, Bitcoin dumps over and over and over. And so, look, there's manipulation of markets from here and there. I think a lot of this is actually just organic, frankly, but you can't ever know for sure if a specific thing is a manipulation or just organic stuff, because like you are going to see movements like this. It's historically normal, and it happens to every coin, not just XRP. So I think most of the time it's just organic, actually. But XRP responded and he said, my portfolio for XRP have been up 7x from 50 cents. I don't know what suppression tactic you're talking about. Anyway, if you are looking at short term, then I think we are not aligned. I mentioned 10 to 15 years, not instant gratification. And then he responded and said that I wasn't responding to your post. It's a guy, he's responding to the guy saying crashing. And yes, XRP has broken out massively, and there is still obviously market suppression tactics. He says, doesn't mean they'll always be successful, but for a long time they were. Now they are proving to be short-lived and reek of panic, in my opinion. And then he says, XRP says, apologies and thank you for helping me respond to that funny comment of crashing. Probably he bought the high at $3.40 in January. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Although the funny thing is, even if you did buy that, if you're actually patient in the way that I was describing, I'm willing to bet that a decade from now, that's going to look dirt cheap and you'll wildly be in profit. That would be my bet. It's the same thing with Bitcoin. Like, even if you'd been so unfortunate to buy the peak of every cycle, if you just did that every cycle since inception, you'd have a freaking fortune. I think conceptually the same thing's true for XRP. And so anyway, he says in response to that, no prob, bro, crashing is funny. It's above previous all-time high, bubbling, LOL, and Bitcoin suppression. I watched Bitcoin inexplicably jump 500 plus rapidly every time XRP ran a few cents. Last day, 36 hours, about 10x. It's obvious market manipulation by bots just like this, fear, panic to suppress. So again, I've already said my piece on that, so I won't opine on the manipulation stuff further. But then he responded, XRP did, and he said, that is why we should be zooming out, looking at the longer term horizon, so we don't get affected by the day-to-day volatility. XRP will do well in the coming years. Just make sure to keep a hodl bag for the next 5 to 10 years. And so you guys do whatever you want. I don't know what's best for each individual human out there, so I'm not offering specific advice for you. I'm just speaking in generalities about what I think makes sense and the right way to approach markets, and specifically XRP. But I do firmly believe if you fast forward 5 years, 10 years, especially 10 years, yeah, I think XRP is not going to be anywhere near this price. I think it's going to be way, way freaking higher. And so here it is in real time as I record this. XRP at $3.51, number 3 in market cap. You're going to be able to come back to this a decade from now. You can do a historical snapshot on CoinMarketCap, and you can look at this and compare it to whatever the real price is a decade from now. It's not even going to be close. And look at this market cap at 3.9 trillion just about. No. It's going to be so much higher than that. Just like I knew we'd eventually get to these levels when it was closer to $100 billion, I have that same conviction that it's going to get to the tens of trillions and then over 100 trillion at some point. It's coming. So anyway, I'll say again one last time in this video, congratulations, you're early to the party. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.